All right, so ready to tackle a topic that's on, like, everyone's mind. Weight loss.
Definitely a hot topic.
It feels like everyone's searching for that magic bullet. Especially when you consider that more than half of Americans want to lose weight.
Yeah, I've seen that statistic. It's a lot of people.
It's easy to get lost in all the noise, right?
Yeah,
Fad diets, conflicting advice. It's overwhelming.
it definitely can be.
So that's what we're doing here, diving deep and cutting through the clutter to figure out what the latest research actually says about sustainable weight loss.
Sounds like a plan.
We've got some interesting articles from Eating Well, Science, and The Reporter. We'll unpack them and see if we can't find some of those aha moments for everyone.
Love it. Let's dig in.
Okay, so this Eating Well article dives into a news study. It looks at what actually helps people not just lose weight, but keep it off. And you know what? The answer isn't some crazy restrictive diet with a flashy name.
Let me guess. It's about making healthy choices a consistent part of life.
Exactly. It's about building habits, not going on some temporary crash diet. And get this, those who successfully lost what's considered a clinically significant amount of weight, so we're talking 5% of their body weight or more, actually saw some pretty impressive health benefits.
Yeah, 5% might not sound like much, but it can make a big difference. Even a small reduction in weight can lead to healthier cholesterol levels and lower blood pressure.
That's huge. I mean, we're talking about a healthier heart and a lower risk of those chronic diseases. And you know what else I found fascinating? The participants who had success, who lost that 5%, they actually started with higher BMIs and fasting blood sugar levels.
Really? So what you're saying is it doesn't matter where you're starting from, there's always room for improvement.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
encouraging, right?
absolutely.
But let's get specific. What were these successful participants actually doing?
Well, this study highlighted those habits we hear about all the time. Loading up on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, choosing lean protein sources. And just as important, they were consistently incorporating exercise into their routines.
So it's about making those balanced choices a regular part of your life.
Yeah.
No big surprises there.
It's what we've known all along. This study just kind of confirms it. And on the flip side, those who were less successful with weight loss, they were more likely to skip meals or, you guessed it, try those restrictive fad diets.
Which, let's be honest, almost never work long term. They're like slapping a Band-Aid on a much bigger issue.
Right. You might see a temporary change, but it's not sustainable. You're much better off making those gradual, sustainable changes. Make it a lifestyle, not a phase.
It's like that old saying, slow and steady wins the race.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've established that crash diets are a no-go, and good old-fashioned healthy living is the way to go. But, and this is a big one, what about the idea that our bodies actually work against us when we try to lose weight? It's like you're doing everything right, eating less, moving more, and then bam, your metabolism says, nope,
You're talking about metabolic adaptation.
that's the one. And it can feel like an uphill battle.
Well, it's a real thing, that's for sure. The Reporter article does a great job of explaining it. Basically, when you lose weight, your body is really good at, well, adapting. It tries to conserve energy by slowing down your metabolism.
Okay, that makes sense. Our bodies are pretty amazing at adapting. But how does that impact us?
Think of it like this. Your body's like, hey, I'm used to running on this much fuel. Now I have less. Time to conserve. It's like turning down the thermostat to save on heating costs.
So our metabolism slows down, even more than it should, based purely on our weight loss. But isn't that working against our weight loss efforts? I mean, that's got to be why so many people hit that frustrating plateau.
It can definitely feel that way. It's super common. But there's some really interesting research out there now that's actually challenging the idea that metabolic adaptation is the main culprit behind weight regain.
Wait, hold on. So it's not the big bad villain we thought it was. Tell me more.
It's more like, it might make the journey a bit longer, yeah, but it's not like a complete roadblock.
So more like a detour than a dead end.
Exactly. And there's this researcher, Katia Martins, doing some really interesting work in this area, really trying to debunk some myths about metabolic adaptation.
Myth busting, always here for it.
Right. So her research is showing that while metabolic adaptation may not directly make us regain weight, it can make the process of losing those pounds kind of drag on, for some people.
So patience is key. Got it. But if it's not just our metabolism slowing down, what else is going on? What else makes it feel so hard sometimes?
Well, Martin's research points to something kind of surprising. Organ size.
Wait, what? Our organs can change size.
They can. When we lose weight, our organs, like our liver, kidneys, they actually shrink too.
Wow, I had no idea. Our bodies are incredible. But how does that impact things?
So our organs, they have a much higher metabolic rate than muscle mass. They burn more calories even at rest. So when they shrink, our overall metabolic rate can drop a bit, even if we're keeping up with exercise. It's like this whole other piece of the puzzle.
This is blowing my mind. So we've got all these amazing adaptations happening. It makes sense, but I had no idea. Are there other things going on too?
Oh, absolutely. This leads us to another really exciting area of research. We've got to talk about GLP-1 drugs. Some people are calling them game changers in the world of weight loss.
Oh, yeah. I've been seeing headlines about these Ozempic and Wegovy, right?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be these miracle cures for obesity. But are they really all they're cracked up to be?
Well, they're showing a lot of promise. The science article does a really good job of explaining both the excitement and also some valid concerns.
Okay, like what? I'm ready to go deeper.
Well, for one thing, like any drug, they can have side effects, nausea, sometimes vomiting, just, not feeling great. And of course, we still need more research on the long-term effects.
That makes sense. New medications always come with, a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah.
But how do they even work? What makes them different?
So GLP-1 drugs, they actually mimic a hormone that's naturally found in our gut. This hormone, GLP-1, it helps regulate our blood sugar levels. Imagine that feeling of being full after just a few bites of food. These drugs, they kind of help us achieve that.
So it's not just about willpower, it's about, like, working with our biology. It's amazing. But if they're meant for type 2 diabetes, why are we seeing weight loss?
Good question. So it seems these GLP-1 receptors, the ones these drugs activate, they're not just in the pancreas where they regulate blood sugar, but also in the brain.
No way.
Yeah. Specifically in areas that control our appetite, those reward signals we get from eating.
So by activating these receptors, we're basically like turning down the volume on cravings.
Exactly. And the results have been impressive, honestly. Some studies are showing people losing like an average of 15% of their body weight.
That's incredible. But what happens when people stop taking them?
That's the million-dollar question, right? So these medications, they're promising, but researchers like Katya Martins, they're exploring ways to make those results last even after someone stops taking the medication. That's where the ketogenic diet comes in.
Okay, so combining this cutting-edge medication with a specific diet. Tell me more. Remind me, what exactly is a ketogenic diet? It's everywhere these days. Seems like everyone's swapping carbs for bacon at every meal. But what's the science behind it all?
So a ketogenic diet, or keto as it's often called, it's basically all about drastically reducing carbs and upping your intake of healthy fats.
Okay, so lots of fats, minimal carbs. But how does that change things?
Well, by making this dietary switch, you're essentially forcing your body to change how it gets its energy. Instead of relying on glucose from carbs, it starts burning fat for fuel.
So it's like switching from, say, gasoline to electric power.
Exactly. It's like a total energy makeover for your body.
Okay, I'm following. But how does this all tie back to the GLP-1 drugs and making those weight loss results last?
So one fascinating thing about the keto diet is its effect on our hunger hormones, specifically ghrelin. You know that feeling you get when your stomach is rumbling and you're like, I need food now.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling well.
Well, ghrelin is the hormone behind those urgent hunger signals, and a keto diet has been shown to suppress its production.
So by keeping those ghrelin levels in check, a keto diet could potentially help manage those cravings that could really derail your efforts.
Exactly. It's like taking back control from those hunger signals that can sometimes feel overwhelming.
This is all starting to make sense.
Yeah.
But in terms of combining this with the GLP-1 drugs, what does the research say?
Well, we're still in those early phases of research, but those early findings are looking pretty promising. Some researchers believe that incorporating a ketogenic diet alongside those GLP-1 drugs and then transitioning to just the keto diet after stopping the medication could be a really effective strategy for maintaining that weight loss long term.
That's so interesting. So it's about giving people tools and support even after they come off the medication. Wow, this has been such an eye-opening deep dive. We've covered so much about the science of weight loss. It's so much more than just willpower and making those healthy choices, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's about understanding those complex interactions happening within our bodies. Hormones, metabolism, how we respond to different strategies. It's a fascinating field, and there's still so much we're learning all the time.
It's incredible. Before we wrap up, any final thoughts for our listeners out there?
As we uncover more and more about weight loss, it really makes you think about how all of this new knowledge could shift those societal perceptions around obesity. It's such a multifaceted issue, and approaching it with science and compassion is crucial.
Couldn't agree more. I hope this deep dive has empowered you to see that weight loss isn't one size fits all. It's a journey of understanding your own unique biology and making informed choices that align with your personal health goals. And remember, this is just the beginning. Keep those questions coming, stay curious, and never underestimate the incredible power of your body to adapt and thrive.